Alright, hello? Hello, hello. Today we are going to be giving the Roottrees Are Dead a try. Just looking for a laid-back point-and-click game. I think there's a bit of typing. My wrists have been terrible this past week. So I can't do anything too crazy, but a bit of typing and a bit of clicking around should be okay. If not, this might just be a little short. Yeah, let's get into it. Some family drama, perhaps. Okay, so we gotta finish this one first.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottrees and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottrees Company's lawyers are scrambling. Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for. I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were. I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Okay. Oh. Complete the family tree of the Roottrees sisters. Okay. Ooh. Alright. Siblings are in birth order. Okay, so oldest, middle, youngest. Examine evidence. Search the internet for clues. Names, occupations, and photos. Okay, and we have a spouse. And this is my evidence. The person who hired you gave you this photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees Sisters Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." Okay. Oh. Okay. This list was provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need it to fill in the family tree. Hello. Goodness gracious. Okay. And then. Okay. A lot of people. Oh, PC. Welcome, Tex. Welcome to the Information Superhighway. Thanks for purchasing a new Cashew PC. Your PC is equipped with a 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web, even those with high-resolution images. If you find anything interesting, be sure to print it out with your included high-end color laser printer, or burn a music CD to listen to later. If you want to revisit a search result, be sure to use Netscape Explorer's new history feature. Ooh, okay. Happy surfing, and remember, Cashew PCs are delicious. Cashew PCs are inedible. Do not try to eat your computer. Okay. Oh, a ducky? Oh, we don't need it. That's cute, though. Oh, a notepad. Okay. That's nice, because I did not think to grab something to write with. You're welcome. On each page, you can jot down important information, such as names, family, relationships, yada yada, anything else you'd like to remember. Oh, page titles can be renamed to make it easier to remember what you've written on each one. Highlight any text in your web browser or evidence for the quick option to add it to your notes. Entire contents are saved even if you quit the game. Don't forget to check them when you return. Okay. Oh, this is really nice, because the whole cousin thing confuses me sometimes. Okay. So we got cousins, which is also first cousins. People that share the same grandparents but not the same parents. So that would be like your aunt and uncle's kids. Second cousins, sometimes referred to as distant cousins. People that share the same great-grandparents but not the same grandparents. And then third, also sometimes referred to as distant cousin. Okay. People that share the same great-great-grandparents but not the same great-grandparents. And then school terms, K through 12, kindergarten through 12th grade, 5 to 18. And yearbooks. I know the yearbook is. Alrighty. So, go back to that ad. Okay, so it's just the sisters. Oh! Okay. Okay. Focus. We're focusing. Dialogue. Okay, spider search. Well, okay, we're gonna start with the sisters. Roottrees sisters. There are a lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottrees sisters' modeling careers. You also come across an unofficial Roottree fan site seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with purple text and hard to read until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. But Riley is the smart one, Rose is a middle child like me. You might think they are rich just because they are models, but their dad is also the president of the candy company and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand Root. I eat Roottrees candy all the time. My favorite are Maple Crisps, and I try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about Root, fashion lines, but none of it is relevant. Okay, I need this. I need. Right? Then we have Riley. And then Rose. Okay. And then Riley. No, don't delete. Can I add? Can I add? Okay. Okay, we're just gonna put them here. That's Brenda. Fashion designer. Daughters, model, boyfriend, and you. That is friend of candy company. Riley. I'm gonna the H's are gonna be hard to remember in there. Riley. Here's Root. What? Here's okay. Then take me back here. So this one is Raina. And then Rose is the middle. Okay, Rose changed her name, I think. Okay, she's got to have a different... But if she changed her name, why wouldn't the current name be in there? Okay. And then that makes Riley the youngest. Cool. And then... Okay. We got earring here. I wish I could zoom in on these a bit, but she's wearing earrings, which is the middle one. So her photo needs to go in the middle. And then Riley wears which I'm guessing is going to be her in the middle, but we're going to hold off for a second. Nope, sorry. There was something when I was typing in the names here. Riley. Did it not save? I thought I put in her... No, this... Why is it doing this? Riley, and then Rose. Unknown Aki, I mean, they're all models? Let's see. Root, touch, interact. Okay. And root. You stumble across an auction for a black and blue dress that's a Brenda White original. The auction describes it as a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Roottrees and started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem relevant to your search. That's funny. Rose Roottrees. Okay, Rose Roottrees is not as popular as her older sister Raina, but still very well known. Most of the time, they're lumped together as the Roottrees sisters. Unfortunately, the results for Rose by herself don't lead to anything different than when searching for the sisters together. Fashion? Okay. Oh, the period is part of the name. I'm sorry. Clothing company. They make clothes for children from toddlers to teenagers. Although their website is down, likely due to increased web traffic, you find countless retail sites attempting to advertise their clothes towards the target audience. One of them has this to say: "You spied the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly on catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you too can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina." You also come across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina appears on almost all of them. There's only one that the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. It seems that Brenda, the Roottrees' mother, and Root's head designer appeared on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1985. The site says this was the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottree. Okay, I want all of this just in case that earlier stuff is. Okay. So Carly goes in the middle. I don't know why they didn't pick that. Okay. I'm gonna go with Raina. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. The 2 T's throws me off. Okay, so it's the same thing. Who is TMS? I don't think it'll count me putting TMS. Tommy Mark Sheridan. First credited role as Thomas Sheridan was on a soap opera called Time Marches Onward. He skyrocketed to popularity after a starring role on the sitcom Brother Trouble. Since the end of Brother Trouble, he has often been on the cover of tabloids for his supposed drug use, and more recently, his relationship with Raina Roottree. After a short engagement, they married in '97 when she was only 19 and he was 23. Okay. gonna let me put him in? Is he not on the list? He's important. Ah, Thomas. That's why. Okay. So we got him. We got them. I guess we can put model for everybody. Yes? Unless they got some secret other thing. Okay. And okay, so Carly is Rose. She's the middle. They're all models. Got Raina over here. Riley wears plaid. Okay. And she's okay. That's what was throwing me off because for some reason I thought Raina was the one wearing. I got mixed up. I was like, she don't look like the oldest sibling, but that works out because she's not the oldest one. Her. Okay. We did it. Huzzah. Oh, we've also locked the following optional entry. That was extra. Fun. Look at me overachieving. Okay, 3 out of 50. Holy moly.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired.
Yay, thank you.
The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The Roottrees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine. The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives.
Okay.
Anyone related
Progeny
only by
only.
marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries.
Yeah.
Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable Roottrees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree. I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
Hey. Oh, howdy.
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Roottrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Oh goodness, what are y'all getting me into? You're dragging me into your shady business. Okay. Let's go. Oh, real quick before we get any farther, I did want to mention that in the accessibility options, there were options to toggle off like flashing and some like glitch effects. I didn't mess with any settings because I wasn't sure if that was turning things on or off, so just a heads up, there could be some flashing and things at some point. When I booted up the game, it didn't give like an official warning, so hopefully it's not too extreme, but just, you know, if you need to take care of yourselves and click off if you're watching this, you know, just keep that in mind. Okay. Candy Company was founded in 1908 by Oh, I can zoom out. Oh no. Okay, wait. Spouse. So this is Brenda, I bet. Brenda White, yes. And this is Papa Roottrees. What's this? Portraits. Oh, I have more evidence. This is the list of notable Roottrees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it could be found easily via your search engine. Oh, Elias and Gwyneth. So those are the founders because their names were put up top of the tree. Carl, Gwen, Red, Jim, Lauren, and Miracle Jr. Any entry on the family tree that belongs to someone on this list will be marked with a star. Notable will be crossed out after they are verified and logged. 5 pieces at. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Okay, and that's all the new. Nope, not. The Roottrees sisters and their parents died in a plane crash on December 6, 1998. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door and said the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I mean, well, Carl, you're next. Okay, so that's Papa. Papa. CEO? President? How nitty-gritty are we getting? Is president different? Oh. Oh, we are. Okay. Okay. That's fine. We won't touch that for now. We'll go back to that later. So it's the clothing company, blah, 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 press release. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, the sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire family is in shock and requesting privacy. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man, an unmatched leader, healing in his absence. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title. Watchman of the Year. Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They have been around for over 100 years in one form or another, often write about major changes. Every year they offer an award to a prominent businessman who has furthered the field. They call this Watchman of the Year. You find through a few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured as Watchmen of the Year, Elias and Carl. Business Watch does not host any online archives on any site you can find via spider search. Oh, periodical search. Okay. Oh, and I have more options here. Oh, this is fun. Okay. Okay. I already looked up Carl. Let's look up Elias, because I don't think they've actually said what the name of the candy company is. Unless it's like something super simple that I have just completely missed. Yeah, Roottrees Candy Company. Okay. Super original. I'm stupid. So he's president 1. Let's go up to Crazy 1. Oh, there's more than one Gwyneth. Okie dokie, we're going back. Oh! This is a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Roottrees. It was taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottrees Candy Company, but before it was a success. From what you found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on the notable, yada, I know. Okay, go back. Okay. Back to the internet. Essentially a propaganda site about him, created by the candy company. Biography, additional information. Credited for inventing 5 Pieces, a popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited only produced syrup. After 5 Pieces became wildly successful, he spent his time and energy cementing his reputation as a family man. Quoted as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup, and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy." The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. A few more quotes from a book called Family Man by Bess Williams. To say they are biased is a massive understatement. Like his great-grandson Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. Okay. Highlight. Oh, I'm just putting this all on one page. I should organize this. Minute. Did I spell that right? Gwyneth. I don't think I did. Nope. Okay, she's an Anderson. Ah, okay. The first Anderson maple farm, a few pictures. Before marrying, she was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the maple farm as long as she married. Supposedly, Elias's idea to create candy instead, their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 Pieces. Although the candy company expanded well beyond their original farm, it has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off how many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Okay, so is heiress? No. I mean, She inherited the farm, but sure. Hey. Okay, so he's probably president number... Oh, I don't know. Top secret. Oh. So I need a picture of Carl Roottrees. Oh, wait, notes. Wait, history. Let's be smart about this. Okay. This? Where? I'm looking. Ooh, okay. Carl, you got a picture, right? The cover and a summary of the article has been added to my evidence. Yes, give me a photo. Yes. Here we go. Photo, blah, blah, blah. Chosen not for his work at the candy company, but rather Root Fashion. Before they married, she was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, she retired to become a stay-at-home mom. Spent any free time she had sewing. Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Carl's cousin Jim, a notable singer who had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. I like that. By 82, being copied by other brands, seeing the demand, Carl and his second cousin, who had just become president at the time, spearheaded Root. Other blood relatives who have a say in the company's finances refused to fund anything other than candy, so Carl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. When the profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment, and now Root exists under the umbrella of the candy company, and they all benefit. That's important. Per tradition, or perhaps superstition, new clothes always debuted the way the first ones did. Raina became their catalog's cover model. As she grew, the product line expanded to older kids as well. Her younger sisters were then recruited to show off the baby clothes, primarily for his personal gamble and the ensuing payoff. Okay. Where was that bit about how family trees work? share the same great-grandparents, but not the same grandparents. So they just share well, Carl's here. Parent. So that's uncle. Grandparents, great-grandparents. Go over one of these two, maybe. But back to my cousin, which would be these here. Right? Because parents, aunts, uncles. But we're talking about a cousin, which would be the kid of one of these. But he is, I would say, gentle. Jim? So let's put Jim here for now. Jimothy? James? Is Jim short for... James? Yep. Okay. So, let's put him... Oh, hang on, let me read all that first. James is a singer who sings in the duo Jim and Diamond with his wife Diamond LaRue. The duo, considered a one-hit wonder. Although Jim writes the majority of the songs, plays guitar, and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's lead singer. The band never had another hit, but has its fans who refer to themselves as Diamond's Dazzlers. More folksy and acoustic. Continued to release music through the 80s and 90s. Other albums mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. Hasn't made a public appearance since 96. A little scary looking. Was barely a top 20 hit for a few weeks in '79. Satirizes how part of society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East, unless pop culture tricked them into caring. Somewhat ironically, listeners didn't seem to pay attention to the lyrics enough to trick them into caring. Instead, most of its play came from roller discos. Doesn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. Jim is on the notable list. Okay. So he's going to go in that star slot. Over here. James. Diamond. Blue. I'm going to put her picture in there. Yeah, I do. Timothy. Oh, and Papa. Okay. Get another picture of her. Well, maybe. Okay, that's an uncle or aunt, which means the second cousin is one of these stars. Wait. Over here. So. Ernie. Okay, a lot of results. For reasons that aren't explained on the page, it has no CEO and no stockholders. Instead, it's run by a president with input and votes from extended family. Site does mention that every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Carl. Okay. Drag and drop. Okay. Three sisters. Don't really want this in company, but we're going to put it there for now. Sort the rest out later. I like that it lets me reorder. Let's see. Product and put them on the map where 5 people. I know. Balance of the products. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. That's all I needed. I guess I could have waited and done more, but... Okay. Oh, I get to keep going. No. Just doing the same. Diamond Dazzlers is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum post called Cool Things You Got in the Mail on a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond's Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it is no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There is a fierce debate in the subsequent posts about whether that's cool or pathetic. Among the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from '96 included pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. And now I have pictures. Yes. Okay. Rad. Okay. Stop. Just actually click on the search bar, please. The Floozies are an all-female punk band operating out of New York City. They are mentioned in passing in an online review from earlier this year. Apparently, they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual. And not because of the music, which she described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in a good way. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she was told they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they became popular. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They were probably losing a fortune. The reviewer said although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There is no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover from the CD they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. Hell yeah. So this is 96. So he's probably the younger. The credits on the cover say guitars and vocal Candy, bass Nikki, drums Nina. Okay, so this is probably Wolf. That's a child. Baby. Let's do student. He seems kind of young. Here's my list of names. Here's my list of names. Oh, no. Oh! Okay. She's a musician. And this is probably her. I don't know. I feel like maybe I need to dig more because that seems like assuming a lot. Okay. Earlier this year. Yeah, so she's older. Go for that. Well, we got 2 more star people. No, 3 more star people. Can I go to the library, like, in person? That's not what I want. Okay. Notorious Montjoys. Okay, let's make sure. Okay. No. Seem to be stuck here. Okay. Very poorly received book about Elias Roottrees. Can I look up best? Was an author born in the late 1800s. She lived just outside of Miami and died tragically young in a major hurricane that struck the area in 1926. Information about her or her book Family Man seems to have faded over time due to lack of interest. Okay. Can I look at? It's probably not going to turn up anything. Excuse me. God. Nothing like streaming with the hiccups. Album released in '95 wasn't professionally reviewed, though diehard fans of Jim and Diamond online say it was a return to form. CD was apparently so hard to find in stores that some fans have resorted to selling cassette bootlegs. There's a music commerce website that claims to sell the album, but it's sold out at the moment. You do find a short sample of one of the songs called Sun. You add it to your evidence. Oh. The website you found it on did not have a full version, but you managed to find a short preview of the song's chorus. There plays a spark of light that ever brightly shone from her starting days, imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. Though someday she'd depart, in part, I'd never be alone. In my heart, I'll always be the son of.
There blazed a spark of light that ever brightly shone from her starting days, imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. Though someday she'd depart, in part I'd never be alone. In my heart I'll always be the son of.
Okay. Hang on. And Roottrees, 1987. Cousin, which is Carl and Ernie share great-grandparents, but not grandparents. So this is grandparents. They share. So he's one of these two over here. Just become president. That's not our uncle. Ernie G. So become president of Roottrees. Elias Roottrees Jr.'s name is listed on a website about historical buildings in Butler County. He is listed alongside an old residence that has been preserved called Henchtop House. Here we go. An article from 1982 announces that Ernest Madsen Jr. is taking over the day-to-day operations of Roottrees after the previous president died unexpectedly. Little is known about Ernest, but sources close to the family who have asked to remain anonymous have made clear that he is more than qualified. There are rumors that Ernest had originally trained to succeed Zach Morden, but had been passed up for unspecified reasons. The last 4 years at Roottrees have been rough, and in an attempt to keep our products relevant to the modern audiences, some of our decisions have had unintended consequences. From the fancy flavors misstep to the batter up bar, we've taken a bit of a tumble in the public eye, but Mr. Madsen is committed to getting back to basics. Zach Morden. In 1959, there was a small blurb about Zach Morden, son of James and Gwendolyn Morden, and grandson of Elias Roottrees, inheriting the candy company. He is quoted as saying, "Elias entrusted me with carrying on his legacy, and that's what I plan to do. Along with 5 pieces, our chocolate maple products are selling incredibly well. We will not be making money." Really? Grandson of Elias. So he's gonna be means maybe number 3. Figured out where we're at in the family tree. Oh, intuition. You've been in this line of work a long time, so long in fact you've developed a sixth sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. The higher the number, the more there is to find. At the start of your search, the notables list sets off alarm bells, a list of famous people that you can't find via search engine. It's pretty rare to get something that useful. Best take advantage of it. As you progress, these numbers will change. Whenever you find more evidence or lock in family members, new discoveries will be added to the list, and old evidence will become less useful. Trust your intuition. If a piece of evidence seems too good to be true, take a closer look at the people or phrases it mentions. Often the most satisfying revelations come from retracing a fact you thought was fully explored, armed with a new perspective. Sometimes the reason evidence has such a high value is because it can lead to finding more evidence. Maybe missing. Yeah. Easy to find online. Okay, one of these three. Let's try Gwen. Finding information on a website about old film is not very well organized and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your search engine. Gwen Roottrees is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 50s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. She's over here. That's her. Anyways. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwen from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which you've added to evidence. Did you know trivia? Gwen was the granddaughter of Elias Roottree, the founder of Roottree Candy. She shouldn't have been named Roottree, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare in those days. And then highly publicized divorce. We're going to add a page for Gwen. Maybe it's just Gwen. Okay. And we can get her photo. Okay. Aha, we did it. No, beans. I shouldn't have I shouldn't have added the picture. I should have just kept going with other stuff. Hello.
You're
But
on
we've
a
got
roll.
some threads.
I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes. But I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottrees reunion. I also found some important-looking papers. You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
Right back to what we were doing. So I need to keep going through. Oh. This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It is a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement of support. But if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflicts spread to the next generation, CM. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water-damaged picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. And her boys. I'm gonna go down in there. Photo of Carl's generation taken in the mid to late 70s. This was some people a bit more sharp. This photo was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed the Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Okay, so this is about Ernie Jr. I think Nicole's their kid. Ooh, hang on. What did I name this? Not that nameless, this nameless. Because I might have what I think this is supposed to be all mixed up. So her mom is a root tree. Oh, there's a lot of people in that. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carl's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage, a pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo in childish print writing, it says November. So that's Carl. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry for all the flashing. You find information on a website about strange historical facts. Aloysius Herring Roottree, aka Red, was an appointed judge and politician who earned his nickname ironically because he was the ambassador to Ireland for only about 6 days. He served what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed, he was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people. He then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be related to the Roottrees Candy Company in a newspaper ad, but it came out that the last name was merely a coincidence and he was defeated in a landslide. Okay. Aha, red herring. That's funny. Okay. I thought I already did Carl. No? He's right here. Oh, I need to figure out what president number he is. Maybe he's 4. Hang on. Because this photo... Next President Guy Hudson. Fancy Flavors was an addition to the five-piece product line for less than a year in 1979. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottrees. In an attempt to cater more towards what he thought the average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which was often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors to five pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. This philosophy led to a flavor in five pieces that was meant to mimic caviar. Five pieces sold less that year than it had any other year, except in some form. Yeah. Limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. God, dude. Okay. Let's look in here. He has a twin. No strangers to the public when it comes to Roottrees snacks. They both appeared in the company's advertisements as children during the Boys and Girls Agree era. Now Guy is taking over the company at the end of the year. Okay, he's a redhead. Okay, we need those. Mother and father Angie and Christopher with providing his fiery dew. Okay, who would have known that one of his two adorable redheads, Guy credits his mother and father, Angie and Christopher, with providing his fiery dew, arguing over everything but chocolate would grow up to take over the whole company. Guy's uncle and current president, Zachariah, has decided to take an early retirement to focus on traveling the world with his wife. Zach was quoted as saying, "Now that our daughters have started families of their own, Clara and I plan to reflect on a life well lived. Guy is new to the business world, but he's family. We at Roottree have faith in his innovative ideas. He's eager to share them with the world. We like to think that boys and girls agree he's ready to succeed." Okay. Company. No, maybe. Oh, had been passed up. Okay, we need to edit this. Edit. Ernie is 4. Guy Hudson 3. He is. That's him. And they're twins. So Carl is number 5? He's number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's look up Lauren. Distant relative. She's an author. Known for her book A Life Between Wars. Oh, hang on. She's a distant relative. That's not what I wanted. Take me back. Make sure we order. I need to just put things in here. According to a website about famous authors in the early 60s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty, to little fanfare. When her publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted she release them under her original name, Lauren Roottrees, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. Okay. The selection of diary entries released in '65 as A Life Between Wars spans from the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with the post-war world as a young widow and mother, as well as her perspectives on changing times and socialites all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, it has found new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style and for a look into life in previous generations. After the success of her diaries, her publisher re-released her romance novels under the name Roottrees. This included Romance in Court, which gained popularity. She followed the re-release up by writing 2 new sequels, creating what fans refer to as the Court Jester series. No recent details listed as retired. Husband passed away in World War II. So she shouldn't be a root tree. I think Lauren goes over here. It seems you've hit the jackpot here. This is the book occasionally taught in schools. You even find a hardcover edition for students that has full-page, high-quality pictures in it. A summary of the contents of the book, photos, as well as some particularly relevant entries from the diary have been added to your evidence. Yes. Yes. The below are notes and observations you made while skimming through her diary pages. She's on the notable. The book was published in 65 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 40 to 65. The most important event that much of the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband, Jacob. While she was pregnant, this left her... Okay. No. Okay. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Her mother's family was called the Cassells, but she hardly ever mentions them. Her father, who she always referred to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottrees Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clance Trust. It's clear from context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. 5 pieces. First generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Her father was in this generation. And then Lauren's and Free Spirits, which I believe would be, yes, this one. So this is... wrong. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I should believe in myself, but I don't know. I need to look this over again. Okay. She's on this line. And she's a star. Oh, there's multiple pages to that. Okay. Granddaughter on her father's side. Oh, my head hurts. An entry entitled Complaints from Lauren, written in 53. This entry seems to focus specifically on Gwen. It seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwen, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot, I hoped she would be the sister I never had and that I'd do the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the two of them. What a mess. But she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me even now from my coffee table. She gets to be the starlet, and tell tales of how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. She's the first Roottrees woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I am jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me. And now, though I have been undoubtedly burdened by terrible tragedy, I am also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity. I can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they would rightfully scoff just like I do at Gwen. So she's got 3 younger brothers. So this is her. 1, 2, 3. I know what I'm doing. We gotta believe in ourselves. She's an awesome. But also a housewife. Why put housewife? Well, that. And her husband was Jacob. Which means I'll come back to that. Sorry, I'm a bit of a jumper. We have her. We have her. We have Jim. Okay, so we have Jim, we have Gwen, we have Carl. We have them, we have them. You find a website for the Miracle Network, a production company run by the Miracle Roottrees estate. It's quite bare bones, but has the following blurb. Witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottrees. Miracle Roottrees arrived so late in his mother's life that doctors swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. Okay, so he's over here. And then that means Junior is here. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems, but still, with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over these complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottrees Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottrees name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. Via the power of television, Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left the life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places that need it most. The power of the Lord coming to a town near you. Below the blurb is a flyer about the tour, which is in my evidence. Cool. So, televangelist? That's not an option. Preacher. And we got a photo. Okay. Hang on. You're in here too. Okay. And that's Miracle the Third. Okay, that's the top. Flyer for the 3 Generations of Miracles tour. It's a few years old. It comes from '96. Miracle Jr., who is said to be world famous and gets top billing. Miracle Jr., blah, blah, blah. Okay. Miracle Roottrees says will make a special appearance. Miracle the Third and his wife Nicole, who are said to be the youth pastors. Okay, wait, new page. Miracle fam. I'm gonna put his picture in. There's Nicole. Oh, there's 2 Nicoles. This is Retreat 3. And where's that? Miracle Jr. Extreme Miracle Network. I already did all that. Okay, well. Oh, and we have more pictures. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the 5 pieces. This picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. It was taken in '35 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it, and the 3 of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well to say the least. Eventually, I suppose to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I found out years later that they never even took a second photo. This is the next generation. An attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 Pieces photo with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one, but I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the 4 of us stand together, and so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one to get to make an appearance was Gwen. Grandma insisted we include Sam, even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge even after all these years. Well, that's... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 pieces up here. And that's probably him in the colorful tie. What? That's the 3rd? So this is Junior. That's, okay, that's the 3rd. Excuse me? I was in the middle of something. I was working on something, dear. Okay, and this is Junior. And this one is... Oh, shoot. That picture... Okay, in the glasses, it just cut off his tie. The ties are how I'm... Reach. And Miracle Retreat. He's also a preacher. Everybody here's preacher. Yep. Oh, and there's still more to read there. Oh my goodness. Okay. I mean, there's a ton more to do, but I think this is a pretty good stopping point for now. If you've watched this all the way to the end, thank you so much. We'll definitely be back with this because I'm really enjoying this. And then hopefully once my wrists are feeling a bit better, we can get back to Disco Elysium and Stardew Valley. So fingers crossed on all that. Yeah, thank you. I will see you next time.